Hi, I'm Dave Karger. Welcome back to TCM as we continue our lineup of movies starring Steve Martin. We just showed the 1989 film Parenthood, which blended comedy and drama and starred Martin as a frustrated father. Up next, Steve Martin plays another patriarch in a movie that takes a much lighter approach. From 1991, it's Father of the Bride. This is a remake of the 1950 classic about a middle-aged father whose quiet life is upended when his daughter gets engaged and begins planning an elaborate wedding. The original MGM adaptation, based on a novel by Edward Streeter, was written by Francis Goodrich and Albert Hackett, the husband and wife screenwriting team known for It's a Wonderful Life and the Thin Man series. 4 decades later, another married couple, Charles Shire and Nancy Myers, returned to the material and updated it for a modern audience. One surprising choice they made was casting Steve Martin in the role originated by Spencer Tracy. Martin and Tracy had very different styles, and critics couldn't help comparing them when the remake premiered. But while it's true that Steve Martin's performance here leans more heavily on physical comedy than Spencer Tracy's did, both actors exhibit a charm that anchors their films. Audiences love seeing Steve Martin in this kind of role, and the movie was a big box office hit. Like the original, it also spawned a sequel that reunited the entire cast. MGM had quickly followed up on the success of the 1950 Father of the Bride with the 1951 sequel, Father's Little Dividend. And in 1995, Father of the Bride Part 2 hit theaters with all the key players returning, including Steve Martin, Diane Keaton, and Kimberly Williams. From 1991, also with George Newbern, B.D. Wong, Kieran Culkin, and Steve Martin's longtime friend and comedy partner Martin Short, here is Father of the Bride. Steve Martin began starring in movies in the late 1970s, but when he saw this 1991 version of Father of the Bride, he said, "For the first time in my life, I looked at a movie I was in and liked myself." Moviegoers also responded well to seeing Steve Martin as an exasperated father, a role he often played on screen, even though he didn't become a father in real life until 2012. Father of the Bride was a hit, and it went on to spawn a sequel, loosely based on the original Spencer Tracy sequel, Father's Little Dividend. With Father of the Bride, Steve Martin also embarked on a successful run starring in movie remakes. In 1999, he played the character originated by Jack Lemmon in the remake of The Out-of-Towners. Then in 2006, he followed in Peter Sellers' footsteps, playing the bumbling Inspector Clouseau in The Pink Panther. Martin also starred in a 1996 movie built around the popular 1950s Phil Silvers character Sergeant Bilko, and he played the father of 12 children in the 2003 remake of Cheaper by the Dozen. Our spotlight on Steve Martin will continue next Monday night. In the meantime, up next, we're sticking with the bride theme as Jean Moreau stars in a 1968 thriller written and directed by Francois Truffaut.
Next on TCM, the bride wore black, then the bride wore red, and later, the breaking point. TCM is holding it together tonight.